From the face-off, the puck comes back to the Canadian blue line. It rolls off the skate, and it's knocked out to center ice. 2-0 for Canada, and Canada a man short. Park trying to cover his man. The puck comes bouncing off the boards on a shot that's way wide. Baltsev is covered on the boards. Sukankov couldn't keep it in, and it's back to center ice. Baltsev, number 10. A drop pass for Mikolov. Mikolov clear over to the line on the far corner, then back to the blue line to Lecheko. Into the corner, they weaving passing plays right in front of the net. Goes to the side, Petrov with Mikolov. Now another bouncer and shot down the ice by the Canadian team. Bergman is still on. Now the Hovland steps on the ice. Esposito out there with them as the Soviets send 3 men over the line. Pass back to the blue line. A drop pass. Here's a shot from the side. It buzzed on the wing. And the Canadian team cover. Esposito down with Mahavlich ahead of him. Mahavlich races into the corners. Overskated the puck. Soviets tried a long pass. The puck rolls back to Sukankov. And Mihailov is waiting for his pass. Mihailov for the Soviet is stopped. Here's Sukankov to center ice for the Soviet. Over the line, a drop pass. He hangs on to it. Petrov lost it, got it again. Petrov over to Lecheko. Lecheko into the corner, back to the blue line. Here's a shot. Deflected. It's wide of the net. Mihailov recovers again. Back to Lecheko. A shot. And another save. Rolling in front of the net. Canada recovers. Mahavlich shoots it down the ice. Bergman is still off and gets back on the ice. So Canada weathered that storm, leading 2-0 with 9:39 left in the period. Puck is at center ice. Harlamov stepped down the ice to take part, and it was offside with Mihailov going in ahead of him.
Offside.
10:29 left, played in the second period, with Canada leading 2-0. Goals by Parisi in the first period and by Clark in the second.
Canada killed that penalty very, very well, Foster. The Soviets were putting tremendous pressure on the 2 defensemen by standing right on the corner of the goal crease. Tony Esposito helped his defenseman by helping push the Soviet players out of the way, and our forwards came back and picked up the puck and cleared it down the ice on several occasions. A good penalty-killing effort.
All ready for the face-off at the Canadian blue line. The puck goes to center ice, and the Soviets in possession. Skate over the line. Here's a shot right on, and it's grabbed by Tony Esposito on a nice hard drive, in that case, by Martinuk. Number 29, the new addition to the Soviet team. He didn't make the trip to Canada.
Tony Esposito comes right out, cuts down the angle, and makes a routine save.
All ready for the face-off. Soviets playing every man up. The team's at full strength. Canada leading 2-0. A pass grabbed off by Gilbert, coming up with Peter Mahavlich. He's given a jolt by Lecheko. Goes into the corner. Martinuk was given a bump back on the net. And the Soviets start back at center. Yakushev got his pass across. And the pass went astray as Shadrin failed to cover up. Into the corner. They're jamming there. Shadrin tried to pass back of the goal. Canada recovers. A shot against the boards. Perreault couldn't get out. The Soviet get it again, and the pass is recovered by Canada. Perreault played a long one over on that right wing to Gilbert, too far, and it's called for icing and is being brought back into the Canadian zone to the right of Esposito, and another complete change of players. And they've played 11 minutes and 24 seconds of the second period. Two nothing for Canada. Parisi and Clark being the marksmen. The face-off, that was a close one, as Vikolov let that shot go from the face-off. Soviets keep that puck in, only to have it knocked out at center. Harlamov turning back at his own blue line, fed it to center ice, intercepted by Stealing. A long shot, a bouncer. Tretjak cleared into the corner. Henderson, Ellis, and Clark out there with Ragulin, the defense player, number 5, covering on the play. With the score, Canada 2, and the Soviets don't score. This is Game 5 from Moscow. Henderson scored for Canada to make it 3-0 at 11:58 on a close-in play around the net. So Canada now leads 3-0. Henderson being in on that goal, getting it in from close in around the net. Now the Soviets coming back. They're down 3-0, and they're almost dismayed by this power of the Canadian team. Frank Mahovlich lobbed the pass that's knocked back at center ice. Stealing clipped it up over the line, and Gusev goes in back of the Soviet goal, played it out in front of the net. Mahovlich left it there for Rattel right in front of the goal. Oh, that was close. As Cornwallis was right in front of the net, too. He let the shot go, but he was acting as a screen.
This is something that Canada is doing tonight so well. They are beating the Soviets in their own end. Bobby Clark, Paul Henderson, Ron Ellis, just before that goal, Clark went right in, trapped the puck along the boards, right off the face-off. Henderson parked himself in front of the net. Tretjak made a first good save, and then Henderson buried the puck to make it 3-0. Terrific forechecking by Team Canada.
LaPointe, I believe, got the assist on Henderson's scoring play at 11:58. The puck is right in the Soviet zone. Canada leading 3-0. And a quick break down the far wing. Bergman is getting back to cover. Goes in back of the goal. Cleared it on the side. Parisi failed to get away. He dumped the Soviet player, Martinuk. But the play goes right on. Now Bergman going in back of the goal. Stands there. Cleared it on the far side. It shot over on the far wing. Cleared up to center ice. Esposito couldn't get past center. It's carried up over on the right wing. And it's knocked down and cleared out by Shadron. Canada again come again. And the pass is knocked down. Down this far side, Martinuk was shot, had his shot, but it hit a leg, and the puck is carried back by Yakushev. Yakushev in on the right wing. He cut in on the boards, was upset on the play, and the referee called the play, and the face-off is going to be to the left of the Canadian goal.
Coming up at the second intermission, some highlights from Team Canada's games in Stockholm, Sweden.
Ready for the face-off on the rim of the circle outside the, just by the Canadian goal, inside the blue line. Canada leading 3-0. The last goal by Henderson from the point at 11:58. It was from a scramble in front of the goal. Now then from the far side, they're in the corner. Soviet trying to get center out in front. They're forced in back of the net. Going in back there, Harlamov cleared to Maltsev, who had to go back for it. He shoots it into the corner. Harlamov hits the side of the net. It bounces in front, and the Canadian player caught it. Ricci threw it ahead, and it was called by the referee. Canada led 1-0 at the end of the first period, and have added 2 goals in this second period, and have 5:28 left in the second period. The face-off, Stapleton cleared to center ice. Raglan fed to center. And another Canadian rush coming in. Henderson on the left side, stopped, centered it. Clark was in too far. Bill White gets his shot, and it goes into the corner. Clark digging that puck back to the blue line. Bill White centered it to Henderson. Henderson's pass goes to the corner. Ellis waits in front, and a shot by Clark. Just went wide of the corner there as they stormed around that Soviet goal. Soviet to Gankov, over to Vikolov. Vikolov was skated off, and Henderson gets a break alone. They're all trying to get back. Henderson shoots, and he missed the net and went in heavily against the board and was hurt on the play. Play goes right on with Henderson lying on the ice. He went in head first on the boards and was well shaken up on the play.
If there was ever an advertisement for a helmet, Paul Henderson has to be one right there. If he hadn't had that helmet on, he would have been hurt seriously.
With the score, Canada 3 and the Soviets no score. This is Game 5 from Moscow.
Paul Henderson, as he comes in here on the goal, he gets turned around trying to make the shot. He slides into the boards, and he's completely helpless. He can't get turned around to protect himself. The two shoulder blades hit, snaps his head back, and without a helmet on, no matter how badly he might be hurt now, and we hope he isn't, certainly, but no matter how badly he might be hurt, without a helmet on, it would have been very serious, because his head snapped right back, and he had absolutely no protection. I doubt very much, Foster, whether there'll be a penalty on that. It was not really a dirty play or an intentional play. When Paul fell down, he had no means to protect himself as he slid into the boards. Now up on his feet, Dr. Jim Murray of Toronto out there helping him leave the ice. And he's being assisted by one of the trainers, Frank Mahovlich, and Rod Sealing.
This is the kind of a game, though, that the Canadian fans expected to see in Canada and were disappointed. It's unfortunate that the Canadian team finally started to click here because while they're still seeing it, they had a great chance there in Canada when the Canadian team just couldn't get rolling, but they certainly seem to be doing it now.
We might mention to the Canadian viewers that these games can be seen again, tape delayed in Canada tonight at 10 o'clock local time on these same stations.
4 minutes and 29 seconds left in the second period, and Paul Henderson has been taken to the dressing room, but he went out more or less under his own steam.
Paul Henderson will be very difficult to replace because he's been playing exceptional hockey for Team Canada. What Harry Sinder will be trying to do now is to get a player who can fill in for him as opposed to trying to replace him.
Rattel is now at center for Canada. Frank Mahovlich on the left wing, and Cornwallier on the right. Bill White clears the puck to one side of the Soviet goal. Kuskin is trying to get out. Kuskin comes down with a pass on the right wing that was missed, and the Soviets are a bit rattled by the play of the Canadian team. Their passing plays have not been clicking because they've been hit and have been skated off at times, and the Canadian team have really skated right with the Soviets all through. In fact, at times they've had more speed. Back to center ice. The puck is still loose. Shot over the line. Bill White drives it back. Mahovlich's pass was deflected by Kuskin, and Kuskin got it to Mihailov. Mihailov now is up to center ice. Keeps on going. Bill White comes over to cover him in the corner. The puck goes to Blinov, who passed in front. Petrov took his shot and it went high and missed the net. The Soviets pressing again. Mihailov comes in front of the net. He didn't get a pass as Blinov was too well covered. Rattel to Cornwallier. Cornwallier cleared into the corner. Mahovlich tapped it. It's on the side. Canada still in possession. Rattel was blocked against the boards. Lapointe came up to help. And the play is stopped with 3:08 left in the second period. 3-0 for Canada.
The Canadians have certainly made the adjustment to the big ice surface. They're actually taking advantage of the big ice surface better than the Soviets are so far in this game. Another thing that Canada's doing better than the Soviets tonight is they are getting away with sending two men into forecheck, and it's actually resulted in their goals.
Parisi to Esposito, shooting wide. Gilbert on the right. And a player change, Luchenko, working from the corner for the Soviets, cleared it over to Anderson, who's out there for the first time. He's one of the kid line, which isn't in being tonight. Here's a pass in front of the goal, and the drive went wide as Luchenko let it go. Down the far side for Esposito. Lyapkin turned him around. Luchenko cleared it on the wing. Yakashev gets turned around himself. Luchenko, number 3, played it out to the blue line. Shadron cleared it forward. Addison was stopped, and the puck is knocked at center with Bill Esposito being hooked on that play by Shadron, but the play goes right on. A roller, Bill Esposito missed it, a 3-man break for the Soviets. Anderson couldn't get the pass, but it was offside as Yakashev, 15, went over the line in advance of the play. 2:12 left in the second period. Canada leading 3-0. Goals by Parisi, Clark, and Henderson. And Henderson was injured on that play 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Foster, it's great to see this happen, really, because I think a lot of people in Canada got the wrong impression about the Soviets, that they were invincible when they played that team unit, because Canada disrupted the team unity, and they now have good control of this game.
A pass by Bergman was blocked. Now they're trying it again. It's intercepted in the corner. Centered out in front. Maltsev shoots. Oh, and a great save. Another great save by Esposito. And he's breaking their hearts with his saves when they do get good chances. Another pass is blocked by Park to Clark. Over on the right side is center ice. Tipped back to Peter Mahavlich, who took a long shot at Tretjak. 1 minute and 34 seconds left. 3-0 for Canada in the second period. Clark over on the far wing. Ellis getting a drive wide. Now Peter Mahavlich went bang into a defense player, and they both bounced off each other. 1:18 remaining in the second period. 3-0 for Canada.
I have to comment on Tony Esposito's goaltending so far. It's absolutely imperative in a series like this, which could be the equivalent of the Stanley Cup playoffs, that you have hot goaltending, and Esposito is hot tonight.
Clark facing off with Petrov. Clark got the draw. Park took a long shot, and Gusev is trying to clear from the corner. He played it over out of the right wing. Quick pass on the side, and Bergman bumped Blinoff, knocked him over. Peter Mahavlich let a hard shot go that Tretjak stopped, and the Soviets are wavering a bit under this Canadian pressure. And they've walked into a fair number of lusty bumps.
It was interesting there. Gary Bergman gave Blinoff a tremendous body check, a good, clean, hard hip check. Blinoff fell down, and you'd think he was one of the Swedish players. He was rolling around on the ice looking for the referee. In fact, Dahlberg, a Swedish referee, stood right behind him and said, "Not this time, Mr. Blinoff."
Petrov, number 16, will face off for the Soviet with Rattel for Canada. They got the draw to center ice. It's loose, and Mahavlich, Frank Mahavlich to Cornwallis, overskated the puck. Mihailov going down that right wing, gets over the line, chased into the corner by Bill White, squeezed there. Rattel shot it on the boards out to center ice, and the Canadian team are clearing better, too, all the time. It's over on the right side. A long shot by Petrov goes into the corner. Bill White plays it down the boards. It's going right down with 22 seconds left in the second period.
If Team Canada get out of this second period with this 3-0 lead, I certainly hope that Coach Harry Sinden has them continue on exactly the way they're playing. Don't go into a defensive shell, because if you give the Soviets 1 inch, they're liable to take a mile against you, and Canada to date has dominated this game. They've exerted good puck control, they've had tremendous goaltending, and they've been able to move the puck up the ice, something that they couldn't do all that well in Canada.
Petrov is facing off for the Soviet to the left of the Canadian goal. Stapleton, the defenseman, clears it off on the right side. It's carried up there at center ice by Ellis, who's weaving quite a bit, and then shoots it over the line. Ellis Clark and Frank Mahovlich are out there. So this is while Henderson is on the injured list. Up to center ice. The play is called. Bill White threatens his Blinoff, knocked him down, or rather just shoved him. Blinoff just went down very easily, and that was the first sign of any ructions in the game. With the score, Canada 3 and the Soviets no score. This is Game 5 from Moscow. Right at the end of that second period, White and Blinoff had a mix-up along the boards, and at the 20-minute mark, they gave them a double penalty. So that now White is off for Canada, Blinoff is off for the Soviets. They start in this third and last period with Canada leading 3-0, and as you know, they play the first 10 minutes of the third period and then change ends. From the face-off, the puck goes back to the Soviet blue line. Soviets to the right, Canada to the left. They're playing 5 aside. A lob pass was knocked down by Cornwallier. Park coming back to the blue line. Petrov covering him. Bergman pulled away to center ice. It's a deflection into the crowd, into that Canadian section, and the face-off is called back to center ice.
The key to this game for Team Canada will be if they can continue to take the game to the Soviets. They've been doing it all night, and they've been winning while they've been doing it.
From the face-off, the draw recovered. Mihailov takes the pass, got it back again, but passed right outside into the center area. So there's typical of the passing plays of the Soviets that aren't just clicking like they did in Canada. Mihailov gets his shot away, and Esposito just covered the angle perfectly away outside the crease.
Terrific save by Esposito because that was a high-rising shot, and as you said, Foster, he came right out, cut down the angle. There was nothing to shoot at for the Russian forward except Tony Esposito, because Esposito was absolutely assured that all the men in front of the net were covered by his own men.
As you notice, the goal crease is circular here, and that was supposed to be a disadvantage to the Canadian goalkeepers, but you can't prove it by what you see here. Slider comes out to the blue line. Raglan getting a chance. The shot is knocked down at the defense by Sealing, but not out. Harlamov coming in fast, walked right in, and again, Tony Esposito came to the rescue. The Soviets keep the pressure on. They're keeping it in there. 5 aside. Here's a shot. Zagankov shot it wide. Vikolov was checked. Now another try. Raglan getting it to Vikolov. He centered it. Intercepted by Clark. Given to Ellis. Cleared back to Sealing. Sealing lobbed it over onto the left boards to center ice. And it rolls to Zagankov. Zagankov down the far wing at center for the Soviet. Vikolov with him. Missed the pass. From the corner, Ellis failed to get out when Harlamov stopped him, but Ellis tapped the puck out on his chance. Zagankov goes in on that far wing. They're watching him. They just let him go. Harlamov takes the pass over to Raglan. Raglan shoots, and it's away wide of the target. It bounces right back to the blue line. Zagankov missed with his pass, and Canada recover. Pass on the left wing to the point. The point overskated the puck. Here's the break for Vikolov going in alone, right in on goal, and he waited too long. And they checked him before he got his drive on the net. Puck is up over the line, and the teams are now at full strength. 3-0 for Canada. They've played just on 3 minutes of this third period. Long shot, and Bill Esposito let one go that Tretjak had to be fast on. Canada still trying to dig that puck out from the corner, intercepted by Anderson. Anderson going to center ice with Yakushev trailing. Yakushev follows through, and again, Tony Esposito stuck his leg out and covered that one. Canada trying to clear the puck out. Pass over on that far wing to Parisi with Gilbert and Phil Esposito. They shoot it into the Soviet zone. Lyapkin goes back to recover. The defense player. Now they're starting back again with Addison on that far side. Checks on the play, but the puck goes loose. Knocked back to the goal. Yakushev is trying to dig it out. It was blocked. Canadians still trying to get that out. Yakushev centered it back. Here's a shot by Luchenko that was off the target. Long pass on the far wing. Frank Mahovlich couldn't get up, but it's covered there by Cournoyer. And the puck was way offside on the play.
One thing that Team Canada cannot do in this period is go into a shell. The only way they're going to be able to nullify the extra pressure that the Soviets are going to put on them to try to get back into this game is by just turning right around and taking the game back up the ice to the Soviet end. If the Canadian defense starts to back in, if the forwards start to play too much defensively, they're going to get a lot of trouble in their own end.
From the face-off, the puck is shot out over the line. Cournoyer trying to get loose there. Wiskin covered him, cleared it back to the net. Cournoyer centers back to Mahovlich, who tapped it as he moved right in front of the goal. And Frank Mahovlich missed another good chance there with the help of Cournoyer.
And that's where the game's going to be won, Foster, right in front of Mr. Tretjak. Frank Mahovlich steps out from behind the net. Tries to jam it through Tretjak's pads, but can't do it.
All ready for the face-off. Cournoyer moves out of position on the first move. It's recovered by Kuskin. Number 4 for the Soviet. A quick pass to center ice. One man back. Petrov getting it back to Klinov. Right in front. It's got to score! Klinov. Corner after Esposito has had to make the move. And that will stir up the Soviets to a supreme effort.
Pat Stapleton had been beaten at the blue line. Tony Esposito gambles and lost. He tries to come out, slide out and make a poke check. Klinov very alertly hangs onto the puck, goes by and slips the puck into the net. The Soviets are back in the game.
That makes the score 3-1 for Canada and may revive the Soviet hope. The time of the goal was 3:34. And Klinov made a real move on it. Puck is knocked from the face-off over the Canadian line. Ellis was stopped on the first try. Then Pikolov recovers going into the corner. Puck goes back to the net. Maltsev dumps the pass back. Here's a break down the ice for Clark. Clark going in with a backhand, and his shot was wide. Forced into the corner. A long pass comes out to center right. Pikolov. Back with Harlamov. Harlamov right through. And a great save on the play as Tony Esposito didn't make a move until the right time.
This was a combination of a terrific move by Harlamov to get in there. He kept the puck control. And Tony Esposito came right out and took a shot that he didn't know exactly where it was going to hit him. It came right up in his chest, but he kept track of it. No goal for the Soviets.
Ready for the face-off. 3-1 for Canada. Klinov just putting the first score in for the Soviet at 3:34 of this third period. Bergman is back of the goal. He's out there with Clark. Clark races after the puck. Henderson is back on the ice. And the Soviet player was knocked down by Bergman. It was Maltsev, and he's hurt. Gets up very slowly. A long pass on the right side. Ellis going into the corner. Paul Henderson has returned to the ice for the first time after his injury when he went in the board. A long clearing pass. The Soviets running down Petrov, trying to get away from Bergman, who covered him well. A long pass is knocked down. Recovered by Canada. Clark makes a long pass to Henderson. He's in the clear. Right into the goal. He just scores! Henderson from Clark. A beautiful setup play by Clark. And Henderson came back from his injury to score his second goal of the night.
Here's why it's so important to headman the puck. Henderson was breaking on his wing. He had a lot of ice. Bobby Clark puts a dump pass way up into the middle. Henderson skates on top of it and walks in all alone and drills another goal by Tretjak. You notice Tretjak backs up into the net a little bit, right between his legs. Now look at this pass. Henderson now cuts back in the middle, get a good angle, and he got Tretjak backing up into the net.
Friendly face-off. Canada now leading 4-1. Get that back very quickly. A return right with Nealing shooting it wide of the goal, and it falls on the offside.
Foster on that goal, and it's about the third time out of the 4 goals that Canada scored against Tretjak. They're getting him backing into the goal too much. If Tretjak were to come out, hold his pads together, he could cut down the angle, but he's backing in, he's spreading his pads out a little bit, and he's leaving openings right between the middle, and we're taking advantage of them.
4:47 left in the first 10 minutes of play. Puck is shot out over the blue line. Now Phil Esposito going down fast. Drove one. Tretjak deflected it against the screen. With the score, Canada 4, the Soviets 1. This is Game 5 from Moscow. The puck is in the Canadian zone. It's cleared to the blue line. Then out. Down the right side. Esposito going in ahead. Here's a shot. And Tretjak had to be good on that. They keep it in with a driving shot in front of the net. Esposito had a chance there, but he couldn't get set. Soviets cleared out of center ice. Canada coming right back. Canada leading 4-1. And the Soviet with Luchenko, number 3, clearing to center ice. Petrov missed it. And the Canadian team played it safe by clearing the puck right back to the Soviet line. Soviet coming again at center ice. That last goal by Henderson kind of put the Soviet fire out. Puck is back in the Soviet zone. And they're starting to move again with a long clearing pass on the right side. Blinov goes into the corner, centered in front. It's deflected right back to the blue line, but not out. White goes in with Lapointe, who covers. Cornwallier rushes into the corner, shoots it down the ice, and it'll be called for icing with Cornwallier. Played it safe and got rid of it.
Foster for Henderson. That was his second goal in a row to make it 4-1 for Canada. And that line of Clark, Henderson, and Ellis have accounted for 3 of the 4 goals so far. And it just goes to prove that if you stick with a line as a unit, they'll start to score for you.
Ready for the face-off in the Canadian zone. 4-1 for Canada. With Canada setting the pace right through. Cornwallier went rushing out there, but the pass went astray. Blinov, number 9, played it back to Petrov at 16. Over on that wing too far. And the Canadian team recover again. Frank Mahovlich goes over the line. Backhanded a pass that goes into the corner. It's cleared over on the left wing to Blinov, who's not in motion. Blinov shot it ahead at center, and he's ridden off Petrov by White. A long pass to Mahovlich was offside and brought back to the Canadian blue line. And Gusev and Frank Mahovlich did a little shoving on their own.
So far, this has been by far the best effort by Team Canada as a team. Everybody's playing well. They're all coming back. They're all forechecking. And Foster, I think this so far has been a considerably better game from a technical point of view than the 4-1 win that they had in Canada.
It just has about everything. 2:29 left in the first half of the third period. Canada leading 4-1. A pass at center ice is intercepted by Maltsev. Ahead to Harlamov. He stopped before he could get over the line. And it's the Canadian checking that is doing the damage to the Soviet club. Tretjak caught that long one on his tender shoulder, and he kind of whipped when it went near his chin.
What Team Canada is doing at this stage of the game, which is so critical to their play, is that by forcing the Soviets, they're nullifying their offensive attack.
Clark, Henderson, and Ellis out there now as the line for Canada. Have 2 minutes and 3 seconds left in the first half of this third period. 4-1 for Canada. And the puck is recovered by Henderson. He lost it again. It goes down that far side. Stapleton batted it down baseball style. Zagankov is trying to center it. It rolls off to the side with Mikula. Here's Raglan getting his shot. It went off a skate. White goes into the corner. Took the Soviet player in, lost the puck. Maltsev back to the net. Maltsev coming in front. Here's he gets his shot. The drive was wide. A very clever play by Maltsev. Canadian team cleared out to Henderson at center ice. Going in on that left wing, the pass is blocked. He lost it. Mikula overskated and shot went up. And Henderson tried to deflect it, but deflected it wide. Up slides out with the Soviets clear to center ice. Bill White heading back to cover. At center ice, Shadron shot it back into his own zone. Shadron gets it again at center ice. Stopped. Yakushev took a drive. It went wide. Yakushev again took it off the board. Centered it. A long shot. From the side. And it was Anderson that deflected the shot.
This is why every coach should have his forwards practice a tip-in. Anderson parks what I thought would be out of position, puts the puck right back between his legs. Tony didn't have a chance on it. Good point shot from the point, and then a tip-in by Anderson. That was Anderson from Tretьяка. We see it here. They set up control. It goes back to the defenseman, and Anderson another scoring play is right in down the first front. Soviet team rushing it, and that was scored by Shadron, number 19, and it put the Soviet right back in the game. Shadron came rushing in, got a perfect pass, and it was in the net almost before the Canadians could get set. And that makes it 4-3 for Canada. The Soviets have been known to score in bunches, and Canada might just be letting them off the hook right here. They have to come back fast. 13 seconds left in the first half of the third period. 4-3 now for the Canada. And the ball comes back. Had it shot, and it hit a flag. Now Canada fight back at center ice. Two fast goals by the Soviets. Anderson and Shadron. Mihailov comes up over the line. Petrov right in. And the shot went wide. They jam against the board. Right in front again. And Dusek shot wide. And the Canadian team are a bit taken by that last play. The quick one up over the line. Up to center ice. Esposito couldn't get his shot. It's up in front again. Recovered by Klinov. And it's offside on the clearing pass. And still, the first half is over, and they change ends. With the score, Canada 4 and the Soviets 3. This is Game 5 from Moscow. Now the play starts in. They're going up over the line. They've changed ends. The Soviets are now to our left, Canada to the right. The point fired one in front. Here's a shot by Clark that went wide. Soviets trying to get that puck out of their own zone. They're trailing by just one goal now. And here's a mix-up between Zagankov and they're rather incensed over this double penalty that's going to be handled out. The Soviets really came fast there. 9:05, Anderson from Lyapkin. And then at 9:47, Shadron romped in to pick the corner. And the bat was in the fire. A double penalty on that play. 5 aside. What the Soviets will probably try to do in this last 10 minutes now that they've come back within one goal is try to use their superb conditioning. They'll be tough along the boards. They'll do a lot of body work, figuring that they'll wear the Canadians down, and they don't care if they have to go almost to the last whistle to either tie it up or win it. So Team Canada has to carry the play to them.
From the face-off, it's a 5 aside now. Luchenko is skating over onto the left side. Gets to center ice. Stealing blocked him, but the puck goes on into the corner. It's shot around back of the net. Marks the Canadian player off for right along with the Soviet player. And the puck is kept in there by Peter Mahovlich, who backhanded one. Tretьяка covered. Now, Perot had a shot. It rolls out back. Stealing covers up, keeping it at center ice. Played it over on the left side to LaPointe. Point is on the defense with Stealing. A cleared pass to Peter Mahovlich. He's trying to go in on Lyapkin, who covered him. Lyapkin made it over onto the far wing to center ice. Yakushev coming in with a pass. Chadwick stopped. Shot was stopped. And the face-off is going to be called after Stealing had gone down to cover up on that driving shot. 8:32 left in the game.
With the Soviets coming back like this, it just shows how important it is to be mentally prepared to play 60 minutes of hockey. Canada, when they scored that fourth goal, might have just had a little mental lapse there, and in a couple of minutes, right off the bat, they're in a lot of trouble. 3,000 Canadian supporters sound like 16,000. Foster, they're getting a lot of cheering from them.
Larkin hands off are off. Five aside. The Soviets keeping the pressure on here. Harlamov getting it out to the blue line. There's a long shot. He scores! They find the score. Gusev shot from the blue line. I don't know whether it was deflected or not. It was Gusev fired the shot from the blue line, and whether Harlamov touched it, I don't know.
I think somebody touched this puck. We might see it on the replay. Gusev let a high rising shot go, and it was deflected up into the top corner on the short side on Tony Esposito. He really didn't have any chance at all on that goal. Of the
second overtime period, of the second half, rather, of the third period. And it's a 4-4 tie. The Soviets showing a tremendous comeback. Now they're coming in again on the wing. Here's right in front, Mihailov shoots. And his drive was wide. And these three scoring plays by the Soviets have really fired them up. A long pass on the left wing. Mahovlich dropped the pass. It's recovered down the right side for Mihailov. His pass goes to the blue line and out. Puck goes loose. Frank Mahovlich is after it. Lobbed a pass here to Grittel going right in. Oh, and his shot was blocked. And now the teams are at full strength as they bang there in the corner.
Foster, it's Jean Rattel he's just beside himself. He walked in. Tretьяка got a part of it, but it hit the goalpost and went out in behind Tretьяка off into the corner. Jean Rattel can't believe that he just missed scoring there. He was in all alone. He let a good shot go. He went by Tretьяка, hit the post, and bounced out.
7:27 left of regulation time. A 4-4 tie. And Rattel had the chance of a lifetime to break the tie. Now they're coming up again with Yakushev going up over the line. Anderson is on the right side. Goes out in front of the net. Here's the pass. It rolls off to the wing as the Canadians are under pressure. Bergman played it over on the right wing. A long pass on the left side. Parisi took his shot. Lutsenko had to hit his stick. Phil Esposito recovered, centered in front. And the pass was missed. It's out in front again, and it slides right down to the Canadian blue line where Park lobbed one that hit a skate. Phil Esposito handed it right back and accidentally on the play, but the Canadian team covers and shoot it back. Lyapkin for the Soviets. As they change players on the goal, the Soviets are changing. Harlamov is out there again, and a high stick, and they call the play.
We just saw an example there of how the Soviets now are sending two men into forecheck. And any stray pass that is just dumped off is going to be intercepted by them. And then right after that, Hayloft did the same thing, and one of the Canadians came back. But you cannot leave any stray passes because there's going to be someone there to jump on it every time.
With 6 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the game, Canada and the USSR are tied 4-4. And at one stage in the game, Canada had a 4-1 lead. It's been a tremendous contest, but the Soviets coming very strongly in the third period. A long pass goes in back of the Canadian goal. It's cleared into the corner. Soviets recover, pass in front, knocked down, and it's brought out by Stealing ahead to Henderson, who's rushing in with Gansov. Stealing went to move up, and then he ends the point, moved back again as the offside is in the Canadian zone. With the score, Canada 4 and the Soviets 4. This is Game 5 from Moscow.
Just saved the game right there for Canada. It looked like a sure goal, trapped completely out of the net. He got the stick back down right on the corner of the post as the Soviet player tried to come around the net and tuck it in the corner.
4-4 tie with 5:41 left in the game, and the Soviets get it thrown. There's Gansov shot wide. It's drilled up on the left side. Henderson couldn't get past center. Harlamov played it back to his defense. Tearing over on the left side, and the Soviet passing is good. The drive is wide of the net. Recovered by Clark. Clark is off. Got it back in his own goal. The Soviet recovered. Got right on the goal. It scores! On Stealing. Error there. On the front. And the Soviet have taken the lead by stealing the puck there. And scoring on the
made a good play. They're not going to make any mistakes if you give them the puck. He walked right in, brought the puck to the outside. He caught Tony Esposito trying to do the splits to cover it, and he put it between his legs. Esposito really had no chance on it. The man walked right in on him alone. And now Canada has to dig awfully deep to get back in this game.
5:14 left in the game. Now the Soviet lead for the first time, 5-4. First time. Here's the Soviet coming again. Lenov tried his shot and it was blocked. Cleared out on the left side with Canada's Rattel. Feeding a pass to center to Bill White to Mahavlich. They dump it over the line. Lenov went in back of the net. Here's another chance for Canada. Front away, shoot! They shoot! They're piling all around the net. There's a lot of jamming there.
Absolutely critical play here. There's no way that the referee will allow a goal, but Tretyak was back right up into the back of the crease, and it's hard to know for sure whether the puck wasn't in the net, and the goal judge sitting behind, if it hadn't been under Tretyak, would not know for sure whether it was a goal, and as a result, he would never put the light on. Then the pushing and shoving begins.
Nikolov got that last goal for the Soviets, giving them the lead, 5-4. Puck is up the center ice, down the Bill White going after it, didn't get it. Anderson beat him to it, centered him out, and it was knocked off to the wing. Stapleton bringing it back, then a pass at center that goes right down the ice, and is called for icing.
The Soviets have done this to so many teams over the last 10 years in international hockey. If they get behind, and a lot of people say they aren't good when they're losing, they're darn good when they're losing. They can come back at any time, and they'll just wear you out over 60 minutes, and they don't care if they have to wait till the last 5 to do it. But they just break you down over 60 minutes, and then they put a lot of goals past you, and Canada right now has their backs against the wall.
Adrin rolled the puck near the goal. Berglund is trying to bring it out, passing on the wing. There's going to be a penalty on that far side as the Canadian player was hauled down by hooking by Yakushev. Yakushev, number 15. So Canada will have the odd man advantage.
There haven't been too many power play advantages tonight because there's been a couple of twin penalties. And right now, Canada has to get their power play into action. They've got to use puck control until they get that good scoring chance, and then they have to make sure. As the Soviets will be trying to control the puck on this big ice surface as much as they can. So Canada has to make fairly sure that they get a good scoring chance before they take the chance of losing that puck and turning it back over to the Soviet team.
Yakushev is off for hooking at 15:48. 4:12 left in the game. Soviets leading 5-4. After Canada had led all the way until well on in the third period. The puck is given to Parisi. Cleared across on the far wing to Park. Park going over. They have the odd man. Park's pass is knocked down. He's covered up. Cleared over on the left side. Parisi took a long shot, and it goes to the corner. Parisi into the corner. Going back to the Soviet goal, being watched by Luchenko. Gates over on the far wing is turned right around. And the Soviets shoot it down the ice. Bergman going back to get it. Bergman to one side of his own net. Played it over on the right wing. Four of them go back with Phil Esposito at center. Over the line, still going. Pass back, and Parisi missed it. And it goes all the way back to center. Cleared pass to his defenseman, Park. Cleared down the right side. Over the line to Esposito, right in. And his shot was stopped by Tretjak on a backhand. Park recovers again. Cleared to the corner. Esposito's in front of the net, waiting for the pass, and Bergman takes it and shot wide. Parisi knocked it to the side, and Tretjak grabbed it and covered up. Yakushev in the penalty box, not showing much expression. Soviet is still a man short. 2:50 left in the game. Soviets leading 5-4. By the turn of events in this last period. Harlamov got the tying goal, and Nikolov got the goal that put them one up. So the Soviets have scored 4 goals in succession. Anderson, Shadron, Harlamov. After Gusev had fired the shot, it looked as if he touched it, and Vikolov scored the last one. So the Soviets showed their power, getting 4 in a row. Out back at the blue line. Over on the left side, Mahovlich had his pass blocked. It's out to center where Stapleton recovers. Stapleton played it over on that far wing, and Cournoyer was offside.
Foster, as Team Canada begins to press here, they know they have to get a goal. Time is running out for them. This is when the offsides tend to creep in. Everybody's just a little over-anxious. They're trying to get that one good scoring chance.
The puck is back in the Canadian zone. A cleared pass comes out to center. And the Soviets just play it safe. The Gankov shot it back, but trapped 2 of his teammates. 2:16 left in the game. The Soviets leading 5-4, showing a tremendous comeback in this last period. Getting 2 goals, seconds apart. Petrov goes over to the Soviet bench, or rather to the penalty box, speaks to Yakushev, and then comes back to center ice. Rattel is at center for Canada. Mahovlich and Cournoyer. Cournoyer starting out with his takes a shot, going in on that side, took a drive. Tretjak fell on his face to cover up, with Mahovlich being close in. Bill White and Stapleton are the defense playing up, trying to take advantage, but they've missed their chance.
Tretjak is playing this just like a pro right now because he's giving them one shot at the goal, and if his men aren't in a good position to get that puck out of there, he's just trapping the play.
They're getting ready for the face-off. The Soviets are back at full strength. And the Soviets, here's a, oh, what a chance there. Right off the bat, Ellis was off balance. Yakushev goes down the left side with check, and Bergman played it back at center ice. Ellis couldn't get past center. Another rolling pass at center over to Anderson coming in front of the defense. It goes to Yakushev off the leg, but he couldn't control the pass for a shot. They keep it in. Yakushev again into the corner. Played it to one side of the net to Anderson. And the pass goes right down the ice. 1:29 left in the game. 5-4 for the Soviets. And it's an offside. It's called. And Tony Esposito is coming over to the bench to get advice from Sinden when to come out of the goal. 5-4. Soviet leading. Esposito is going back into the net. Still Esposito is going to take center ice. Now then Clark comes out. Clark, Ellis, Henderson. Still Esposito, fourth forward out there with Park. Park comes over the line on the left side to Henderson, and it's called on the offside with 1:16 left.
We
5-4 for the CCCP. And it's been a stunning surprise this last period. Tretjak had to take a long shot there from Ellis, who let go right from that right wing. 1:10 left in the game. The crowd very tense all the way through. And of course the Soviet followers have had a joyful time in this last period, when they made their tremendous rally to finally take the lead. A slider goes to Tretjak, but it was an easy one when Clark dribbled one towards the net. The Canadian team had much the best of the first two periods. All set to go. Soviet have taken command in this last period. Another change. On the face-off, the puck goes wide. Back of the net, down to the corner. Leanoff shoots it down the ice. And it's called for icing. With 58 seconds. 58 seconds left in the game. Soviets leading 5-4. Esposito played it off the skate. Zichenko shoots it out over the line. Trying to break through. Is forced to the side, covered by Esposito. And Cournoyer goes back of the net to Henderson. Henderson down the left wing. Got as far as the Soviet line. Harlamov left it. Cournoyer, who just tested Tretjak with a hot one there that just about did the trick. Soviets send three men back. Here's Petrov running in. Takes a shot. And then it was blocked by Tony Esposito away out in front of his goal crease.
Harry Sinden is just beside himself. Ivan Cournoyer walks right in. He let a blistering shot go. Tretjak, although he got some of his glove on it, didn't catch it cleanly, and it just dribbled off the far post. This is a point busted. It's not an alibi by any means, but there's no question that at this stage of the game, conditioning has to be a factor, and the Soviets have to have the edge.
From the face-off, the puck is right at the center circle. It's grabbed off by Mihailov. Cleared back and missed Harlamov, who was just to one side. An offside at the far wing with 10 seconds left in the game, and the Soviets leading 5-4. after a tremendous comeback. Petrov will face off outside the Canadian line. Goes over onto that far wing. Cornwallier was checked by Harlamov, who rags the puck, holding it against the board. And they only have 3 seconds left in the game, and that's just about it. Cornwallier comes over to get a new stick. So it's 3 seconds to go, and the face-off at center ice. Tony Esposito stayed in the net regardless. Getting ready to go. The face-off, the puck rolls back to Tony Esposito, and the game is over. And the Soviets made a tremendous comeback in that last period to finally eke out a win over Canada to the tune of 5-4. The two teams are shaking hands at center ice. It was a tremendous effort all the way through, and it's almost unbelievable how it ended up after Canada had so much of the play in the first 2 periods. The players are still shaking hands. And with the final score, the Soviets 5 and Canada 4, this is Game 5 from Moscow.